Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead season 10 and 11, specifically the Commonwealth. I wanted to make this video like sort of like a Commonwealth explain video because we saw at the end of season 10, the finale, we had a mysterious group of people show up. Now that is the Commonwealth, and I wanted to make this video to discuss them even further and who they are based on the comic books. Now this is not going to contain any major spoilers or anything like that for the comics, so you don't have to worry about that. I just want to tell people who they are and what we can expect to happen in season 11. With that being said, however, I will give a spoiler warning in case you haven't seen the episode or you aren't caught up with The Walking Dead, because we will be discussing some stuff that happened in the episode. Also, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe because we're back in, Walking Dead season, so we're going to have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up with Fear the Walking Dead and The World Beyond. So with that being said, let's get into this. Alright, so yes, the new group that we saw at the end of season 10, they are a group called the Commonwealth, which again is the next group that we're going to meet in The Walking Dead. Well, we already met them technically, but we're gonna go ahead and meet them even further in season 11. We might even meet them more in the 6 extra episodes, because remember, we're getting 6 extra episodes for The Walking Dead season 10, so we might even have some more of them there. We don't know for sure just yet, but I do think it's a possibility. But the point is, the next main group that we're getting, like from the Governor to Negan to the Whisperers, now the next one is going to be the Commonwealth. Now the Commonwealth, I think, is really interesting because not only are they the biggest group that we've met so far, they're going to be the last group probably that we have on the main show. The main show, that is, because The Walking Dead, the main show that started in 2010, they're going to be ending with its 11th season. Obviously the franchise will continue, and we already have other franchises and other groups from other shows like Fear the Walking Dead. We have the CRM from the movies and the CRM from The World Beyond, but the Commonwealth most likely will close out season 11, or at least be the last main group that we have for The Walking Dead. The last couple episodes of season 11, maybe they go in their own direction to wrap it up, but the point is the Commonwealth is the last group that we're going to be getting. So here's a picture of the Commonwealth from the comics, like the artwork for the Commonwealth, and you can see how similar it is compared to the TV show. I thought the TV show did a really great job, and when I saw them come on screen, I thought they were amazing, and I knew who they were right away. I would imagine that it was probably a big shocker for those who didn't expect the Commonwealth. Somebody I was watching it with didn't know the Commonwealth, so when they showed up, they were like, who the heck are these people? They don't even look like they're living in the same world as everyone else, everyone else, they look so much more advanced than everyone else, is what I'm trying to say. So they're definitely an interesting group, a really cool group. So we're gonna get into it now and talk about the specifics. Again, we're not gonna get too much into spoilers for the comics and the Commonwealth series, the Commonwealth stories in the comics, just a general idea of who they are for those who are wondering. So the Commonwealth is a big group that is located in Ohio, and that's really interesting on its own because our group is in the Virginia area, right? So they're about 7 hours, well, according to Google Maps, that is, they're about 7.5 hours away, a car distance. So that's if they drive, right? We don't know, so it's a pretty far, length to get from where the Commonwealth base is to where our people are. So I feel like obviously they probably have some vehicles, but not only that, it's interesting to see them come all this way. Now obviously a TV show could do it totally different, but I'm just saying based in the comics, they're a group that is based in Ohio. So the Commonwealth, they have about 50,000 survivors, which is an insane amount of survivors. So you might even want to call these people a civilization. They're not even they're not even a community. I mean, they're not even a group, really. I mean, they're literally a civilization, a big community, you could say, whatever. But the point is, they are humongous compared to anything else that we've seen on the show before. Now, the leader of the Commonwealth, her name is Pamela Milton. Now, I put up a photo of her on screen from the comics, and this looks a lot like, we talked about this 2 years ago, actually, when we had Georgie come on the show, because Georgie looks a lot like Pamela Milton. Milton. And I still think that Georgie, I'm not saying Georgie is Pamela Milton. I'm sure they will have a character named Pamela Milton because they usually, keep the main characters in their names. But Georgie, for some reason, looks a lot like Pamela Milton. I don't know if that was like a hint or what, but the reason I'm bringing this up anyways is because I do think Maggie is connected with the Commonwealth. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But I do think Maggie is connected with them because Maggie has her people, which I don't think they would introduce two different groups. I think Maggie knows the Commonwealth, and I think that's where she's been, especially since it is the last season. I don't know if they want to introduce two different groups. We'll see, but I think Maggie is connected. And that's who Georgie was. Georgie is also connected with the Commonwealth. I don't know if we're gonna ever see Georgie again. I hope we do, because she did seem like a pretty, prominent character. But that comparison between Pamela Milton in the comics and Georgie on the show was definitely an interesting one, and I don't think it was on accident. That's what I'll say. They also have a main guard. His name is Mercer, Officer Mercer. So I'm not sure if he's gonna be, if he was in that location that Eugene and them were. I think he might be, but we didn't see him in the episode, or at least I don't think that one person they kind of focused on was Mercer, because Mercer has like a different outfit compared to everyone else. You can notice him. So I don't think Mercer was there, but he might, he might have been there, but we just didn't see him in the finale. But going back to the whole civilization thing, the Commonwealth, they really are a civilization because they have like a class system where they belong. They have jobs. People have jobs. There's like lawyers and governors, and not like one governor like Woodbury did. There's like other types of leaders and stuff like that. It's like a huge community. I mean, they even have like concerts and stuff like that, and I think they even have restaurants. They are a huge community, which I keep saying community because that's the word I'm used to, but this is really like a civilization. These people are like, when Rick came into Alexandria in season 5 and thought they were like out of their minds because they haven't experienced the outside world. I'm not saying the Commonwealth hasn't experienced the outside world, but they have it like, they're living their own life behind those walls. It's like insane. So for those who have seen The World Beyond, you might notice that when I was explaining the Commonwealth, there's definitely some similarities between the Commonwealth and the CRM, but I believe the CRM are totally different, but the similarities are there. And the CRM, I believe, might even be a bigger group than the Commonwealth, which might be hard to believe. But with that being said, I feel like it would be impossible for the CRM not to know the Commonwealth, because arguably they could be like the second biggest group ever, or at least in that area. And the Commonwealth, or excuse me, the CRM, they know Rick and her, and Jadis and them. They know people on Fear the Walking Dead, and obviously The World Beyond. So I feel like the Commonwealth wouldn't go under their radar. I feel like they would know each other, but that's for a totally different conversation. But I just want to make that clear for people that the CRM and the Commonwealth are two different groups, most likely. I say most likely because I don't know exactly what direction the show is going to go, because we haven't really explored the Commonwealth. But I'm just saying, like, the CRM, they don't exist in the comics. They're a different group. But I would be shocked to learn if the Commonwealth and the CRM don't know each other, because again, they're very similar. It's just the CRM is bigger than the Commonwealth. That's it. So I would be kind of shocked if they don't know each other. So in terms of season 11, we can most likely see it playing out the same way that it did in the comics. Again, I'm not going to get too much into the comics, but in the comics it's pretty similar, where they get, they're taken by like the Commonwealth, and they take him to their community. So in the comics, I think it's Eugene, Michonne, Magna, Yumiko, Sadiq, and Princess. Obviously Michonne, Magna, and Sadiq aren't there. In the TV show, it's Eugene, Yumiko, Princess, and Ezekiel. So we can most likely see the same thing happening in season 11, or maybe in the extra 6 episodes. But the point is, the next time we see the Commonwealth, they're probably going to take these 4 people to that Commonwealth area, or wherever they come from. So again, the TV show has taken a turn. Like in the TV show, Maggie never left. There's no Georgie or the twins or any of that kind of stuff. So I would assume that because the Commonwealth, the army, or like, this group of people that were surrounding Eugene and them at the end of the season finale, they're probably going to take those 4 to the location, and then Maggie is probably going to take everyone else. Or maybe they're all going to meet up and go together. But again, it's a little bit different in the comics, in the TV show. So I would assume that Maggie would take the remainder people, and they would all end up going to the Commonwealth. To me, that seems like a premiere type episode. It's like a pretty big episode. So they could do that in the extra 6 episodes, but I could definitely see that happening in the premiere. And I'm pretty excited about it. I think that would be pretty awesome, everyone going to the Commonwealth. And the Commonwealth is going to be like a group they have never seen before, or like an area they've never seen before. It's going to be pretty cool, I think. So when they get to the Commonwealth, we actually have a character in the comics who ends up reuniting with a family member. So that's really cool, and kind of goes to show how big the Commonwealth are. So maybe something like that happens in the TV show as well, which I think would be pretty awesome. So without getting deeper into the comics, I'm going to stop there because I don't want to get into plot points or anything like that. I just wanted to give a general overview of who the Commonwealth are in case you saw the episode and you were just curious about what that group is. So that's, it's like a huge group, and we can definitely maybe expect in the finale or in the premiere or maybe in the extra 6 episodes that the group goes to the Commonwealth and we meet all these people. Like we meet a character named Lance and a character named, or we're going to probably meet Stephanie and Pamela, obviously the leader, Mercer, all these main characters. And it's going to be a really interesting ride because it's not just like a different community they're going to, they're really going to a whole new place, which I'm very excited for. So you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Hopefully this did answer some questions you might have had. Again, I didn't want to get into any plot points. We will probably discuss that kind of stuff later on. But for this video, I just wanted the general overview for who the Commonwealth are. But again, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to subscribe because we have a lot more content coming up as we're back in The Walking Dead season. But with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.